Hi guys, this is Crafty Cat. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. We are here with day 12 and 13 of World Watercolor Month. So today is can't talk. So today is actually day 13 and the prompt today is Cavern. Yesterday's day was Rumble. So day 12 was Rumble, and yesterday I could not paint because I had a lot going on. We had really bad air quality in town, and my air conditioner stopped working. So my dad and I had to take my portable air conditioner. I took it out of my room. I put it in the bathroom. I pulled it into the tub. We had to drain all the water. It was leaking water everywhere. Then we had to use a screwdriver. My dad took apart the back, and we cleaned it. It was filthy. So now we know we have to take the whole back off. I was cleaning the filter part, but there was another section that you can only access by taking off the whole back of the air conditioner. So we did that. And then I got really sick because I wasn't breathing properly. And it was also my mom's best friend's 80th birthday. She's in the hospital and we went to go visit her. And by the time I got home, I wasn't feeling good. And my hands were so shaky. They're still pretty shaky, but I'm feeling better today. We still have bad air quality today, but I didn't have to go anywhere. So it worked out well. Anyways, I thought I'll just paint today. And I had an idea for Rumble, because Rumble reminds me of a bumblebee or a honeybee, the buzzing sound, and also motorcycles. So I thought we're going to have a little motorcycle bumblebee or honeybee with the big leaf leading up to the hive, which is called the Cavern, and it is also a bar. So it's a honey bar. So there's honey on top. They're having a sale. And then I thought, you know what? I just want to draw something cute. So this is supposed to be a giant blade of grass leaning up. I have the curving road sign. I did a really bad job because my hands are still shaky. So I sketched this out in pencil first, and then I did it in pen. I used my Ohuhu fine liner. And I did ask AI on my computer to show me some examples of bees on a motorcycle. So I looked at a bunch of different images, but then I just made my own. And I just tried to keep it loose and sketchy. And yeah, so I put a little snail down here and a little butterfly up here. These are supposed to be in the distance bees going to the bar. They're having a big sale today. There's a little tree. And I just thought it was really cute. I don't know. I like whimsical art like this, so I don't know if you could see it. And I just want to show you before I kind of ruin it. So there is the beehive, the cavern. Honey on tap. There's the bees heading over. There's the butterfly on the bluebells and the curving road sign. And there's my main character, my little honeybee on his motorcycle. I can't decide if I want to make it red or blue. And there's my little snail, and this is a big leaf that's growing up over the grass and more leaves. And I really like this style. So now I'm just going to go and erase some of my pencil marks that I could still see here and there. Okay, this is Kathy in editing, and I have sped this portion up 10 times faster. So I'm just using my Paul Rubens watercolors to put in a light blue background. I've made it very watery, and now I'm taking out some clouds, and I've decided it is not dark enough because this paint dries light, and I'm doing it all over again. So yeah, there's our background. Hi guys, so I am back. I had a little break. I had my supper. Oh, so good. And I let this paint dry, just this little background, which was done in Paul Rubens. And now I have my Himi Gouache out. I know you can't see the whole thing here, but there's just a row of green and some dark brown on the end that you're kind of not seeing. So yeah, if I can't get everything on unless I turn it sideways, but if I turn it sideways, then I can't fit my my palette. So I'll do my best. So what I wanted was like a light muted watercolory kind of background for the sky. And now I'm just going to go in with maybe this brush and add some water. All right, so this is Kathy in editing, doing a voiceover again. I've sped this up 10 times faster than my normal painting speed. So we are doing the, I want to say it's a honeycomb, but it's not. It's a hive. So this is not a dive bar. It's a hive bar. But get it? So I'm going with a lighter yellow and then progressively darker browny colors to try to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. But ultimately, I'm trying to do this really quickly and not take too much time with it because I want it to have that cute kind of storybook kind of look to it. So now I am doing the entrance to the hive bar with a dark brown, and then I go with a black in the very center to make it look like you're going in. And now I'm using those same colors on my branch that is suspending our little hive bar. So I'm trying to use all of those same colors and make it kind of look branchy. So I really enjoy working with this Himi Gouache. It is so much fun. And I'm just checking my brush. My brush had a wonky there was just one little fiber of hair that was sticking out weird. I ended up cutting it off because it was driving me crazy. I couldn't get it to stay flat again. So now I'm just using the same yellows and browns for the sign, just to make it look like wooden signs, and just to try to keep some things the same color in this. And I will have to go over my signs again and write down the wording on it in black fine liner because gouache is opaque, so it was kind of covering the wording. And now I'm doing the little flying bees. I just want them to be very off in the distance, flying to the hive. Just our main character, who I have named Rufus B, is in the foreground or the midground. He's super cute. He's wearing safety goggles and a helmet, and he's riding his bike. And at this point, I couldn't decide between blue and red. So I was just thinking, I really wanted a red bike, but I thought maybe blue would go better because I have blue bells and the blue sky. But I ultimately decided red would give it that extra pop of color that I wanted for him. So I'm kind of fiddling painting him, but I don't want to be too careful or realistic or anything. Like I said, I want it to have that more storybook kind of feel to it. So now I'm doing the motorcycle and just going over the gray portions of it. And I played around with that for a little while. And now I am mixing my reds. I want to start with like an orangey red and then go progressively darker. So I decided the bike and the helmet will be red. And I could have done the scarf in red too. He is wearing a scarf, a motorcycle scarf, but I decided to go with a different color, kind of like a dull blue, because I thought the red, it's too much then if I add one more red thing. So this gouache is fun because if you don't let it dry, you can mix the paint right on the paper and get some really cool effects. And if you let it dry, you can just cover what you did before with a different color, which is cool. Kind of like acrylic. Gouache is fun. It reminds me of watercolor and acrylic together, sort of. So now I'm working on the black portion, which is the stripes and the bee and the tires, but I did mix it with a dark brown so it wasn't pure black, just so that I could go back with black later and add the shadows if I needed to. So I'm really happy with how this little bee is coming out. I named him Rufus B. I don't know why. Why Rufus? I don't know, but he is Rufus. And I love that it's a hive bar instead of a dive bar, and it's a blade of grass as a highway. And there's a little butterfly and a snail looking on. But they can't join the club. Oh, and the name of the motorcycle gang I decided is the Thunderbees. So this Rufus is the latest member of the Thunderbees. There I'm going with the little scarf now. And I did the one color for the exhaust, the smoky exhaust, but I will go over and make it a little bit darker later. This was so much fun to do, you guys. So, now I'm doing the bluebells and the butterfly. I decided it would be a blue butterfly with the bluebells. And I'm just doing two different shades of blue. And then I remember we have bluebells in the yard. And I remember that the stem is a different color. It's not just green. It's kind of like a burgundy red, pinky color, purpley almost. So I decided to wait and just work on the blade of grass. So I'm going in with the lightest colors on the blade of grass right now. And then I'm going to go over it and make it darker progressively. Now, it does look real pretty when it was this bright, and I was very tempted to just leave it that bright, but I decided no, I would make it darker. And I was just doing this on the fly, making decisions on the fly. And I did brighten up this video for you because for some reason I have a hard time getting the video to show you the actual colors. So I have to brighten my video a little bit to make the colors of the painting show. Anyway, I worked on this blade of grass for a very long time trying to get it to the right color. I wanted like that yellow to peek through and then progressively go with darker greens and the foreground to be darker than the background, just to show that the hive is in the distance kind of thing. And I just really like the idea of a blade of grass as a ramp or a highway, if you will. So I'm adding more darks. I was going to paint a line down the middle, like a road line, but I decided to just try to make it look more grass-like. So I'm just still playing with the colors, and I want there to be a shadow where the bike is, like on the grass under the bike. So I'm just going back and forth with all the different greens and some yellows, and I'm adding a red to some of the greens for that darker green because I don't really have that dark green in this set. It's really, really easy to mix colors with this. So now I'm making that foreground leaf um darker because it's the closest to me, and I'm working on the other little leaves that the snail's sitting on. I'm just imagining those are some little plants. It might be another bluebell that's facing the other way. It could be any kind of plant. Now I'm going back to the bluebell and I'm trying to think about what to do for the stem. So I wasn't sure, so I decided I would add some purples to the stem because I kind of remember them being like a purpley deep rose color, some of the stems. We have these in the side yard. I should have just gone and picked one, but the air quality is really bad out there. We're at a level 10 warning right now. We're nowhere near the fires, but the smoke is blown this way. So, and I've got really bad asthma and I was really sick yesterday. So now I'm making the underside of that one leaf darker so that it's lighter on top. And working on the little warning sign saying it's a winding road. I had to add that in because I thought it would be perfect. And now I'm working on the snail and I'm trying to add like a lot of the same colors so there's not too many pops of extra color. My real only pops of extra color are the butterfly, the bluebell, and the red motorcycle, and I wanted to keep it that way. So now I'm trying to make the smoke more smoky looking and adding more details to the wings, just bringing some of the same colors in, darkening some of the bluebells, and I don't know what happened there. Oh, I'm working on the little tiny bees. Sorry it's so fast, you guys. And now I'm looking at everything a little bit closer up, working on the snail some more. The snail is so cute. I'm trying to make that shadow a little bit darker. And now I'm going with my fine liner and just going over to make some of the, to fix some of the lettering and some of the lines that got covered up. I'm sorry you can't see that part, but you can see a little bit of this part here. I could actually just cut that out, which I think I will. So hang on. Okay, guys, I am back. I think I did everything I can do on this. I'm really happy with how it came out, considering it was just an idea I had in my head. There's our little cavern, the cavern. It's a, instead of a dive bar, it's a hive bar. Get it? Hive bar, the cavern. Here, Rumble is our little motorcycle bumblebee. He is ready to rumble. We have a little snail. We have a little butterfly, and we have more bees heading over to the bar. And I tried to do it where the color just kind of erases in the background and pops more in the front. But I still wanted it very childlike almost because it's like a nostalgic drawing. Reminds me of being a child. Anyway, let's see what it looks like without the tape. Hopefully it didn't rip. And now it's officially my video because I banged the camera. It is not officially my video until I bang on the camera. So let's do that. You know, I watch all these people on YouTube, and some of them they're so like, they'll put something like this down and they'll go click, 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 click and open it, and they're very aesthetic, and that is not me. I immediately put my thumb in the paint. I drop things, I break things, and yeah. But anyway, are you ready to take the tape off? And hopefully it did not go under the tape. And this is where it really shows how it turned out or not, I find. This is like my make or break thing. So far so good. So I'm ripping the tape here, unfortunately. I got my hair stuck in the tape. I did put the tape down before I put it on the paper. Sometimes it rips, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. So, but the bottom came great, and that's nice because I need to write down here. And I'm so happy because this was an idea I had in my head, and I'm not, I'm not used to being able to do that. It's so cool that now I can have an idea of what I want to do and actually be able to do it. Although with a little help from my AI friend for showing me a bunch of pictures of a bee on a bike. That was my idea, but I was trying to visualize a cartoony one. So I didn't copy what they did, but it was enough that I could get an idea. And you can see I ripped the paper here, so I'm just going to rip that off. And it looks already, how much better does that look? I'm so happy. So this is line and gouache. So it's line and gouache. I used just Paul Rubens for the very light muted sky with some clouds, just because I wanted to push that back. And this is a big giant blade of grass highway going up to our hive bar, the Cavern, where they have a sill and honey on tap. And our little guy is ready to rumble on his red motorbike. Now I was going to go over with a white pen and put some white in here. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try. Sometimes I see people using these Signal gel pens and they work. It doesn't always work for me. Sometimes it just doesn't work at all. Yeah, see, nothing's happening, I don't think. Like, I have a little bit of white there, but not as much as I would like. And I don't have a small enough detail brush where I could get it on the little eyes. Do I dare try it? My hands are so shaky is the problem. And I don't know which white is a better white. So if I just wanted to do a little dab. Okay, well, I got a little bit of white. Is that better or worse? He's wearing goggles. All right. So I'm super happy with how this turned out. I decided at the lot, I put my little winding road sign here. And some leaves growing up behind the grass. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So let me grab my pen. I'm super happy that I was able to think of this and know how I wanted it to look and kind of get it to come out the way I wanted it to look. That makes me super happy. So this is day 12 and 13. Day 12 and 13. Rumble and Cavern. My sketch. Himi Gouache and Paul Rubens watercolor. And I should sign my little guy here. Okay, I'm just gonna sign right here. And I'm super happy with how this turned out. I want to write. I'm a writer, you guys. I should write a little children's story about a motorcycle bike gang of bees. And they have a hideout called the Cavern where they have honey on tap. So yeah, so I was trying to do the most vibrant color in this area so that it would go back here. I don't know if it worked. Let me know. What do you think? Super happy with how it turned out, you guys. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of those things that help as a channel. And most importantly of all, take care, stay safe, and happy crafting, happy painting, and happy World Watercolor Month. Bye, guys.